day I spied a young cowboy all wrapped in white linen, all wrapped in white linen, and cold as the clay. I see by your outfit. Hey, Phillips here, and JP. Barry's is in. Krusty Vomits, Free for All Friday, which means I I always say which means anything can happen, but those of you who are with us regularly on the streams know that anything can happen pretty much any day. It just seems like Fridays have that extra something special to them, that extra zing, that extra little touch of complete and utter inappropriateness that I love so much. I'm not sure what you're saying, Krusty. Is there going to be some Yakuza, or am I tripping? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I know, Philip. I'm glad to have you here. He says last 2 days have been great for me making the streams. Man, yesterday was fun. I got a bunch of stuff, and the same thing today. I got this stream going a little early because I have to go to the store. I have to, fuck off, train. I have to pick up some stuff for the house, and I'm hoping to get all that done, get everything wound up, so maybe I can do Yakuza again. I want to go get my spanking, because I'm clearly going to get a spanking in Yakuza, because the boys aren't going to be happy with me. Listen, well, I should save that for when we actually play Yakuza, but come on. Is it my fault that guy couldn't take just a typical loan shark ass beating without dying? Not my fault he's a pussy. It's showing Yakuza on the thumbnail. It fucked it up again. All right, let me go fix that. Thank you, guys. That's one of the newer things. Oh, no, see, I've got the Free For All Friday one on mine. Oh, I wonder if when I wonder if it when I first scheduled the stream, if it put the wrong one up and now it's got the right one. What? So you guys are seeing the right thumbnail now, right? That's just another goddamn Susan glitch. I get that one a lot now. Barry says, put the bad touch in the bag, or you get it back, or in the bad. Oh, it did that on Discord, Big Green. Yeah, it does do that on occasion. Well, you guys saw it a couple times. Several times I've had streams show up with the prior stream's thumbnail on there. I don't think we're getting anything for notifications going out on this one either. Wow. Again, the notification system just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Now it's golden. Okay. I did hear that, Philip. He says, "Oh yeah, Curtis, you hear that Netflix candled? How do you Well, I guess you could candle something. Oh, fire, Scarecrow. Canceled that abomination they call a live-action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop. I did see that. I meant to bring that up during the stream. I would have forgotten. But you guys were... Again, you guys know how I felt about it. Because as far as I'm concerned, Radical Ed was just an afterthought in the live adaptation. And they're going all woke with the character of Radical Ed instead of just making her who she is. So I had zero interest in it. So it getting canceled this quickly after debuting is just a thing of beauty as far as I'm concerned. Fucking Netflix. Jesus, they're terrible. Wolverine, but Holly, Jolly, and Gushy. Hey, Jason. Yeah, Poppy, we were just talking about that. Poppy says, thanks, YouTube, for the no notification. Sup, bitches? We can immediately tell, Poppy, some days are just worse than others. And, of course, Free For All Friday, where we all really always have a good time together, that's when Susan says, fuck those guys. We're not... It doesn't... I don't know. What do you guys think? This could just be a paranoia thing, but it does seem like... Now, you guys... the few of you that have found your way here so far are mostly, or almost all, people that have been with me for a long time, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Doesn't it seem like we start missing out more so on notifications and things like that right after I post anything critical of YouTube or anything that YouTube would rather not have on their platform, but they don't have specific rules to cover. It seems like a hell of a coincidence. Now, there's been, again, this is next to nothing for notifications for there to be, 18 people here 5 minutes into a Free For All Friday stream. But I did just post the other day about, Totally Not Mark and how that's 100% on YouTube. And then we talked about it in the stream. You got to kind of wonder. You got 3 night shifts in a row starting tonight, Wolverine? I used to, many years ago, I used to have to do shift work. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass when you're bouncing around from shift to shift. And Buyer Jeff says, screw the rules. Screw the rules. I have money. Big Green says, I know we get less notifications for streams that are critical of YouTube, but I'm not sure about the day after. I'm not positive either, but like I say, there is a hell of a coincidence here. We'd been doing fairly well for notifications, and then all of a sudden it's like, maybe better off we don't send any for you guys. Are you looking at your channel feed to see it, Poppy? Well, like I said, I'm hoping to do Yakuza later. If not, the good thing is now Saturdays are freed up a little bit more for me for a little while because on top of everything else on my schedule, on Saturdays was Notre Dame football, and now we don't have another game until the bowl game on New Year's Day. So I got a little more time. Well, actually, a lot more free time on Saturdays now. Krusty says YouTube has a bunch of bullshit in their algorithm to do that kind of thing, especially streams, which is fucking dumb if you ask me. Yeah, Krusty, it's just, it's a really, for being a fuck off train, for being a large mega corporation like YouTube is, they're really odd in that respect, in that it's just, and this isn't, I don't mean just from the things that we experience here at the channel, but in their overall way they do business, that is very puerile. It really is. They're kind of childish. Philip says it's only been, a month since it came out, right? Yeah, probably about that, right, Philip? We're talking about the live action Cowboy Bebop. Maybe less. Response must have been a lot worse than I realized. For a while, they were talking about a second season. And then Netflix is never going to get the hint. They need to, if they want to do this live action anime thing, if this is something that they're determined to bring to the public, why not go to the production companies that are involved and say, listen, if you're not going to stay true to the original material, we're not interested, because that's the audience we're trying to grab, is the audience that watched the originals. And so if you're going to come in and just fuck everything up right from the start, and clearly they did that with Cowboy Bebop, why do business with them? But Netflix won't, because again, it's just what we talked about before. It's the arrogance of Hollywood. It's the arrogance of these production companies. They don't feel like they need to do a true adaptation, because they're going to show you some ways that it'll be much better, or in this case, much more woke. Because that certainly seems to work in entertainment when you go overly woke. Barry says, I think the algorithm briefly scans videos for keywords, and it detects any of the keywords. It subtly penalizes the creator and thus its subscribers through notifications and such. That, I think, is a distinct possibility, Barry, because we know just from the actions that get taken on our videos that we post, that's exactly what happened. The algorithm will look for certain terms or certain phrases, words, whatever the case may be, and do things like hit you with the community guidelines, or to a lesser degree, age restrict something. And it's all based on just the keywords that they've gleaned from the title or the description or something. So that's entirely possible. Big Green says it probably would help if they stopped trying to clown on legitimate criticism, though. Yeah, I agree, Big Green. And that goes back to that same arrogance. And that's, to me, it's all about arrogance. Why these live action anime have failed because they, again, you got something like Cowboy Bebop that was just a brilliant story and something that's near and dear to anime fans all over the world. But then you get a production company involved, and it's like, well, no, let's take this character, and that's a good character to make non-binary. That'll get us points. It just immediately it starts with all the bullshit. Just tell the fucking story the way it was originally written, and they never do that. I told you guys my experience with the Death Note live action. I got through, I don't even remember how long, probably wasn't even half the first episode. It's like, this is just fucking abysmal. And that was it. I never went back to that. Morning, Grandpa. We bitching about YouTube again? Prince Neo says, we're bitching about a lot of things. It's Free for All Friday. There's room for bitching about everything. Yeah, true. Krusty says Netflix doesn't care about IPs. They have giant wads of cash to throw around and hiring actors with an agenda. It so much in entertainment is agenda driven now that it's ruining entertainment, unfortunately. Let's see. Rosa says I achieved a rating of 1900. That puts me on lower female pro level. Obviously, online ratings are inflated, but even for a chess.com rating, 1900 is a lot. Good for you, Rosa. Rosa's a huge chess aficionado. Dragonborn says, dad jokes. I don't understand why YouTube demonetized my videos. It just makes no sense. Well, it's funny too. Well, maybe sometimes things are partially my fault too, because I'm going to tweak YouTube a little bit here shortly. Anyway, I've been. Well, I'm always into anime, but I've just been, today I spent a lot of the day looking for anime memes and stuff. I just had that desire. So I was thinking about making a quick video about how boobies are more of a fix-all, do-all for everything than even duct tape. And I was going to do that within the context of that scene from High School of the Dead, where he uses the boobs as a prop for his rifle for his sniper shot. So when I post that scene in a video, we'll see what YouTube thinks of that too. Because why not fucking tweak? Let's see if they play by their own rules. By their own rules, you can post things like that. It'll get age restricted. I'll age restrict it myself. I don't have a problem with that. But they say you can, so let's see if we really can. Big Green says, I was watching that whole live English roast before the stream. Some of those roasts I hadn't seen before. Those girls really are a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. Big Green says, I like it when you spank your cheeks, Curtis. Take that however you will. Oh, my. Yeah, just thinking about it makes me happy. Yeah, Leslie, did you hear about Totally Not Mark, anime YouTuber getting 150 videos taken down by Toei Animation? I made a whole video about the whole situation yesterday. Jason says, Curtis, what does Julius Caesar shout at orgasm? I don't know, at 2? Brute? Barry says, if we're ripping anything today, it should be ripping Hawking out of his wheelchair and then see if he can prove string theory. More beatings for poor Stephen Hawking. Those will never stop here. It's always going to be a cornerstone. Poppy says, I went from having one manga in 2017 to having 86 in 2021. I believe I'm an otaku. Not sure, though. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Phillips says, got to get around to seeing today's Tiny the Evil reaction. Been waiting years to watch it. Yeah, me too, pal. Excuse me. Again, you guys remember I first got introduced to Tiny the Evil back, not in the video clip streams, but back in the old reaction video streams when we were able to actually do those. And that's where you guys showed me a bunch of clips. That's why Chrome and I put Tanya in the header there, was because I just thought she was such a great character. And I'll tell you, having watched a few episodes of the series now, my admiration for her has only grown. And what I really like about it is, just from what I've seen, I know she's a badass, and that's enough to make me like her in and of itself. But it's kind of, her character's more complex than that. I kind of like the idea that she's just looking for a nice cherry piece of cake assignment in the rear somewhere where she's not involved in all the conflict, but it just, when you're that good at creating havoc, the powers that be say, no, you come up here to the front. But I just thought that was cool, because my impression of her was that she's just balls out psychopath, just wanting to kill everything in sight. And that's true to a degree, but only when she's put in that position on the front lines to have to be there. Rosa says, YouTube censors the full word that WFM stands for. The fuck is YouTube anymore? Rosa, it's gotten beyond belief. And again, all that censorship is entirely on YouTube, because there's no censorship set for the channel. This channel is set to allow anything in comments or wherever. I don't have filters on anything here, or censors on anything. Hey, Zombie Warrior. Black Lagoon. I want to make sure I'm telling you the right one, Big Green. Black Lagoon would probably have come up already at the Goosh, except that it's longer. So if it doesn't get voted in, it's going to take a little while for it to get put at the $1 level. But it's definitely high on the list. What the fuck? I hate when you're when you get these new updates. Go fuck yourself. They try and get involved in every element of your life. Don't allow. Now I got an AT&T free message. November bill is paid. Thanks. Here's a little gift for you. Does anybody actually fall for these things? I just find it hard to believe that they actually get anywhere with this stuff. And they've completely changed everything on my phone too because of that update. And you can't find anything anymore, any details or anything. Yeah, Apple's is almost as big a pain in the ass as Google. Need to revvy up your gears, Curtis. 3 seasons of 12. Is that what it was? I can't remember. I just looked it up not too long ago. Philip, let me see. I thought it was even longer than that. I might be remembering wrong. But I know that's why I hadn't yet. Jesus Christ. Spell, Curtis. Okay, Black Lagoon episodes 12. Oh, you're right. It's not as long as I thought. But the ones I have set up right now are even shorter still. So I'm just trying to knock out all the shorter ones, actually, at the $1 level at the Goosh. But even that won't be as big a deal here very shortly because we'll be caught up on One Piece. That's the main reason I've been trying to keep everything at the $1 level shorter, was because we're on such a long anime taking up one of the spots with One Piece. So that actually, you could even say now is not the case, because what I just watched, it hasn't been posted, but I think the most recent one I watched is 946. So we're only talking a couple 3 months until we're completely caught up anyway. Floop says, I'm doing very unchristian things with a mason jar. Oh my, 2 sponges and a latex glove tonight. I love Fridays. Fridays are for partying. And if latex gloves and mason jars get involved in the party, I'd say you're just somebody that knows how to enjoy a Friday. Excuse me. Rosa says it only took 50 years to catch up on One Piece, but you did it, old man. I I can't believe how fast the time went by. Chrome had looked it up. Now I forgot when she said we had actually started that. What are we into it, guys? Like 2.5 years, I think. And really, I mean, it seems like a long time, but it flew, absolutely flew by. How early is the whole in the series is the whole thing with Arlong? And I remember that like it was yesterday. That made a major impact on me. Same thing with Shangsu. I mean, even earlier still in the series, the whole thing with Shanks giving the straw hat to Luffy. Again, it just doesn't seem like it was that long ago at all. The time flew by. Big Green says Tanya wants to wage war like a psychopath, but she also wants to live an easy life. Right, and that's what I didn't expect at all. BG, it was an extra element to her character as I'm watching. And again, I'm only a few episodes in, but I'm watching these episodes. And it's like, yeah, she just wants to chill. She's on that train ride heading back to the main compound area, and all enjoying life and taking her classes, and then they come up with this whole group that's right where I am right now, where she's got this platoon that she's going to be in charge of, and they've got plans to promote her all the way to major in the coming months. And yep, she's right in the midst of the shit. Oh man. Fleet Floop says I made a website for Jesus. I made a website for orphans. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a home page. Oh, that's terrible. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Joel says, Toph is by far my favorite character in Avatar. She was already strong and funny, but I also love how she's blind, so it adds representation, and how people with disabilities can also be strong. Yeah, she's one of my favorites. And I don't know if I had a specific favorite in that series, probably be Uncle Iroh. Being an old guy myself, maybe it's just because I identify with him, but there's a lot of great characters in there. But yeah, Toph would be right near the top. I like her a lot. Barry says Hawking will never stop taking a beating like the orphans. Who are either of them going to tell? One's dead and the other doesn't have parents. Yeah, that's and that all fits into the sad but true category. Wolverine says, "My Wado Ichimonji arrived on Saturday last week. I have no idea what that is, pal. It sounds like some sort of skin condition that would itch real bad or something. Wado Ichimonji. I have no idea what that is. It's a sword? One of Zoro's swords. Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't recognize the name at all. I was like, oh, I think I might have had that as a kid. Oh, that's kind of cool. I I've got it with our katana that was given to us. I've got a stand or a holder for it that goes up on the wall. It's going to go right up above that window near Spaz Kid's desk, and I've had the pieces of the stand sitting there forever, and still haven't gotten around to putting it up because I'm a dipshit. Rosa says, "What is a Wado Ichimonji, and can I put it in my nether region?" Let's see. Bob John says, "What's up, Big Papa? Do you break more bags than a 500-pound drone?" I'm not sure I'm following that product. Been watching all your old wrestling videos. You're one tough son of a gun. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I miss wrestling. I was just thinking about that earlier. The group that I helped to found many, many years ago, World of Hurt Wrestling, is putting on a show tonight, and I'd go up and just watch the boys. It's still all people I know. Some of them I helped train in the business, and I'd go up. I just don't have time to do it. It's over in Vermont, I think, and I just don't have enough time tonight. Philip says, now that I think about it, Tanya suffers from the age-old problem of every worker. Never be too good at your job. You'll get put through all kinds of bullshit. Ain't that the truth? That's the ultimate conundrum in the workplace. Excuse me. The one sure way to get shit on and to get more and more work heaped upon you for likely relatively the same pay is just to be good at your job. You're right, unfortunately. Grass is on very wrong says, yeah, Tanya suffers from success. she's such a good character. I'm really enjoying that series. And the expressions, the artwork within the animation is so good because her expressions are so telling. That little creepy grin she's got, and well, the grin when the two guys she sent to the rear to the pillbox, when she finds out that they did get killed, that grin she gets is like, ooh, so that's why they call her Tanya the evil. All right, that works. Alucard says Curtis founded a wrestling business. It's the first step to becoming the next Ainz. Hopefully you get a hot anime girl who constantly wants to have sex with you. Yeah. I'd find a way to become the next Ainz. And to be fair, I was just one of the original crew. I wasn't an actual founder. There were two guys that put it all together, but I was with them from day one. The first show we ever did, we didn't have a lot of workers, didn't have a lot of wrestlers. I think I wrestled 4 or 5 times that night. It was a rough night. Joel says my favorite One Piece character is SpongeBob. Jellyfishing. Yeah, that's well put, Big Green. He says, "Oh yeah, I love her expression. She's a fucking gremlin. That gremlin is a perfect descriptive. Yeah, she's such a good character. But again, you guys had talked about that one for so long, and with having seen the clips I had seen before, it was just something that I'd always hoped to get to, and now we're finally getting to watch it." Let me see. Hold on a second here. I just lost track of where I was. God damn it. Okay. There, my freaking chat was hung up. Ando says no notification, but here I am, boss. Pink guy, yeah. As near as we can tell, Ando, basically no notifications went out this time. Just another fun day of trying to do anything here at YouTube. It's just the way it goes all the time now. True, Philip says at least Tanya gets promotions and moves up the pay scale, unlike most people, but I'm not sure it's worth all the aggravation that comes with it. Yeah, especially with the potential for death that Tanya faces regularly. Joel says everybody's gangster until Sanji learns the Krabby Patty secret formula. That would be a good crossover, wouldn't it? One Piece and SpongeBob. Big meaty claws versus Gum Gum Fruit. Oof. Pay to have a front row to that one. Poppy says, I was so tempted to go up to the teachers and rubbing the fact that I got the highest grade in work industry in their face and the third best grade overall. I can metaphorically tell them to suck it. Telling people like that to suck it is always satisfying, whether it's done metaphorically or literally. Lude says, can't stay today. Dispense my sticky stuff to the rest of the chat. Extra Lude for me. You got it, pal. You got it. We're not going to do a super long one anyway. We've been going half an hour, only because I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done so that maybe I can get time later to play some more Yakuza. And as soon as I get done here, I want to work on that other video, and then I'm going to shoot right on out and try and get to, and not try and get to, and go to the store so I can get the stuff I need to get for the house and then get back here quick. So maybe I can do that stream later. Krusty, the latest episode of One Piece I watched was today. I watched 946. Vin says, how do you know where COVID-19 is manufactured? It will have a sticker on the bottom saying made in China. Yeah. Well, we talked about that before. That's my biggest frustration in all the fallout from this pandemic is that so far China is just basically, I mean, China inflicted mass casualties on the world and they're skating pretty much scot-free. Because no matter how you slice it, obviously it came from China, and it either came from their nefarious means or their negligence, one or the other, and both are unacceptable. But instead, the whole world just spends all their time arguing about who handled the pandemic well, who didn't handle it well, who wants to get shots, who doesn't want to get shot. That's all it's all devolved into, instead of everybody focusing their attention to the fact that China are the stupid motherfuckers that did this to us. Hey, basic science tutor. I was trying to turn that into a word it wasn't. Hi. Are they still denying? China's still denying they did it, Big Green. Fuck off, Train. Oh, and you see some sympathizers here in America that do as well. I mean, we don't know for sure. There are certainly plenty of indicators that it could have come from a lab, and it's entirely possible that it came from one of those scummy ass wet markets. But it came from China. And what kills me too is, and again, because everything has to be political, when they argue about who's handled it the best and who dropped the ball, you still see people all the time quoting the COVID numbers from China. If you're stupid enough to believe for 1 second that you got anything close to realistic numbers from China, that they volunteered real numbers on what the virus did over there, you're an idiot. What are they claiming? I think 4,000 deaths. Oh, they got it right under control. Mind you, we still remember the videos from when the whole thing started, and it was so bad that they were welding people into their apartments so they couldn't get out. But only 4,000 people died over the course of 2 years. No, we got it completely under control. And freaking some morons here in the States believe them. Well, China did really well against it. Here's their numbers. Yeah, okay. Code, the whole world needs to boycott China by starting to boycott the upcoming Winter Olympics. Too bad other countries do not care, especially Brandon. Yeah, that's the thing, Code. China owns too much debt from other parts of the world, and people rely too much on the cheap crap that they make and export. So as long as finances are going to be involved, they're never going to be held accountable at all. Absolutely. I mean, and then you see people getting all up in arms when they called it Kung Flu and the China virus. Who gives a fuck? It's accurate. I mean, I understand that you have to make, because again, we have a lot of simpletons. You have to make it clear to people that because China is responsible for the virus, it has nothing to do with the Chinese people. Again, nobody is victimized by China more than the Chinese people. It has nothing to do with the people. It's the government. But we're not even allowed to say things like that. Under the guise of, well, no, you don't want to encourage any type of backlash against people of Chinese heritage. What they're actually trying to say is, come on, let's not piss China off too much. We really like buying their cheap products. That's what it comes down to, especially within our government. Philip says, you know what I've been thinking about recently? China had to have been supplying the Taliban with weapons. They're no doubt got a surplus of AK copies. Then they come out in support of them. Well, excuse me. Nothing along those lines would surprise me at all, Philip. I think China is knee deep in a lot of shit. But nothing will ever top for me the fact that they're just, at least to this point, just being allowed to skate with killing millions of people around the globe. And it's just like, well, let's not worry about China. Let's just worry about pointing fingers at one another and who could have handled it better. How about not worrying about who could have handled it if some assholes didn't bring the whole thing about in the first place? Fleet Poop says Uncle Cletus closet touchy time. uh, Basic says there's idiots that attack Asian people. I'm like most people are cool. It's government that suck. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, it's very isolated, but you always get some sort of idiot. I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine, honestly, just picture someone being that stupid that because the virus originated in China, that somebody here in America holds ill will against their Chinese neighbor? What the fuck do you think that person had to do with it? They've been living next door to you for like 20 years or something. Or even take it a step further. Or even that anybody could have any ill will towards the rank and file people of China. They got victimized worse than anybody. Again, nobody gets victimized more by the Chinese government than the Chinese people. But that's the unfortunate level of intelligence we deal with so much in such a big sector of society. It's kind of depressing. Joel says, I'm still waiting for Curtis to pile drive that train through a ring. And for who says that's physically impossible, we're weeaboos. Anything is possible for us. That's right. There are no limits for weeaboos. We transcend time and space. Dragonborn says, I like COVID how I like my women, 19 and easy to spread. Sponsored by China. Oh. Yeah. Same says it's Chinese military doctrine to attack the U.S. using racism against us. Yeah, I mean, it's just like the whole thing with Russia interfering in the elections. The only reason that irritates me that people take and run with that is now if Russia had been able to change one vote, this would be a whole different conversation. Then I'm on board with that's egregious to the point of where there's got to be some sort of confrontation about it. I'm not talking necessarily militarily. I'm talking, politically. But they didn't. So when people complain about Russia interfering in our election, what they're saying is too many Americans are dumb enough to believe stupid crap they read on social media without ever verifying it. Because that's the only way they were to affect anything. And that is true, and it still goes on today. But nobody is more guilty of trying to influence Americans with bad information on social media than other Americans. So, and the whole world, I mean, we got the country all pissed off. Well, the Russians interfered with our election. Do you see the propaganda they posted? Yeah, do you see the propaganda you fucking post? Because everybody on social media, or the vast majority on social media, they don't check to see if anything is legitimate. When they find a headline, if it fits their narrative, they propagate it. Philip says they get to undermine the world's perception of America as their biggest rival military might. No doubt Pakistan had a hand in it too, since the Chinese arms would have had to pass through Pakistan. True. Big Green says, I mean, they do have SpongeBob in Japan with their own very anime-sounding ending theme. Oh, I didn't know that. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities a One Piece collab. That would be too freaking cool. I didn't know that, though. They had their own cool anime ending. I didn't know that. Ivan says, hey, Curtis, I just got finals week, then left home from college. Oh, good for you, pal. Brax will be coming home soon for his vacation. He had finals this week, too. But, of course, he has to stay longer than most because he's an RA. So he's got to wait till everybody else is gone. And then it's like still 24 hours after that. They have things they have to do, checking up on all the rooms and making sure everything's in place where he can come home. But he should be here by next weekend. It is like Cold War all over again, Dragonborn. The problem is now I think America is even more easy to target for our international adversaries simply because all we do is fight with one another within the country, and it makes us an easy target. Gwen Shep says, that's cool. I'm 15, depressed, and should be at school today. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your depression. Come on, you're Free for All Friday, though. That's got to pick you up a little bit. You're looking at this face. and And Gwen just went, you know what? I think I will go to fucking school. You make a good point, ugly old man. Nolan says Brax had to bust anyone for the devil's lettuce in the dorms. Yeah, unfortunately. And he's really good at his job. I would be as an RA or anything in that type of capacity. I would get fired in a matter of hours because I don't have patience for stupidity. I don't. I just, if somebody's doing something mind-numbingly dumb, I say, hey, you dumb fuck, what the hell is wrong with you? And smack them in the head, and that'd be the end of it. Brax is really good at it. So he doesn't look to bust anybody. So he'll even, if he knows kids are smoking pot or something, he'll initially, as best he can, try and leave a hint to them. Like you see them around the dorm area and make it known, say, boy, we got to really start watching. They're putting they're having us watch extra careful for any type of illicit materials. Do you get what I'm saying? And it never works. And the kids are like, oh yeah, got what you're saying. And then you go in and it smells like, the whole floor smells like burning rope, and he has to go bust them. The devil lettuce is what you would call Lucifer's pubes. I've never heard that one, Joel. I like that, though. Vin says, in my opinion, I feel like people get something stuck in their head and just roll with it and don't look at the facts and the bigger picture. COVID is a perfect example. Yeah. And what happens nowadays, Vin, too, is it's just what I said. If people read something anywhere online, doesn't matter how unreliable the source, if it fits their personal narrative, they're just like, oh, fucking cool, and they run with it. They don't care if it's accurate or not, and that's a lot of the problems we have. That's why stupid shit gets propagated as much as it does. And like I said, that's all Russia did. And yet everybody makes a big deal about Russian interference in the election. Stop being stupid. As Americans, just stop being fucking dumb. And they can't influence the election. No, bro. Don't be smoking that oregano. Yeah, Big Green. He's good at it. He always tries to give people the benefit of the doubt. He always tries to do what he can to, cut things off at the pass, but people just don't care. Oh, that was your campus, Ivan? Says, yeah, my campus probably avoided a mass shooting yesterday. I was just reading about that. Scary stuff. It was especially bad because campus was fun because of exams. Yeah, I didn't see which school it was, but I just read the leader on the article and saw the picture of that he had a compactable gun and everything. And yeah, that's scary. Excuse me. I'm Lucy. I'm 25. Finally banging MILFs. Yeah, talking to a 42-year-old. Attaboy. Attaboy. Experience. Nolan says, I remember my RA days. Oh boy, the shit I saw. Weed and alcohol were the least of my worries. That year aged me like crazy. Yeah, he's done it, Nolan, 3 years. Brax has done it from his sophomore year. And again, it's something that he's, his attitude, his demeanor, his personality are really geared towards it. As a matter of fact, he's applied to become an RD at the same school when he graduates. So we'll see how that goes. Rainy Friday says, Curtis, you and everyone here do me a favor. Have a nice day. Positive vibes. Well, thanks, Friday. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. It's funny with your screen name, too. We're one of our staff, who's also a good friend of ours, Carly, is here with my stepdaughter today. And her and I were just talking about that earlier, how it's just been it's just been drizzly, a little bit of snow, a little bit of rain, a lot of gray here. And excuse me, sorry guys. We're talking about how you do your best to just not let that get you down, because it gets old. Joel says, let's get serious here. Madara or Frieza, who's better antagonist? I want to say Madara, but he had a disappointing end where Frieza's been fleshed out, but Madara is still great. I like both, but for me, Madara, I just think Madara is one of the all-time great villains. Yeah, they by going the route they did and having him not be the final boss, having to be Kaguya instead, it didn't diminish my enjoyment of Shippuden any. But I think I would have liked to see Madara have been the ultimate villain. Andrews is going to have me a terrible day now just because of that super L. just to be contrarian, huh, Andrew? Do you? Lord Dovati says, funny enough, I like some gloomy weather. I've never been I know a lot of people enjoy it. I've never been a gloomy weather guy. And I don't even mind it here and there. It's just when we get in stretches like we have here, and any of you in the Pacific Northwest, because I lived there for a short period of time, that's your lives, is the gloomy weather. So for us, at least we get to come out of it on the other side. But yeah, it's just blah to me. Philip says, when I was at college, we had somebody who was hotboxing the bathrooms. Had people really pissed off. They eventually found the person, but never told us living in the dorm. Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. No one says, one time a weed bust turned into an Everclear bust. Then a BB gun bust. All in the same room within 5 minutes. That sounds like a day. Red Wolf says, hey, Curtis, you really inspired me in that cameo. I now have a gym membership, and I'm currently searching for a wrestling school. Thank you. Oh, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I'm glad. Yeah, listen, just, again, make sure you find yourself a good, reputable school, and you find out really quick if it's for you or not with wrestling. There's no shame in trying it and finding out it's not for you. But as I said, the only people that stay in the business are people who really love the business, because it hurts way too much to be doing it for any other reason. Basic says, unfortunately, my vaccine 5G signal didn't locate any women in my area. Jokes aside, I had no side effects except arm soreness. Yeah, I haven't been in a hurry to get my booster, only because we had COVID back in late September. So as the doctor said, my wife and I both are just kind of like maxed out on antibodies right now, but we are going to get the booster. Hey, Zeno. Hello, off next week, and that's my final one for the year. Another person going away from my work by the end of the month. It's a usual thing for my work now. Really? Wow, that's so... The job market is so... This is the strangest conditions for the job market I've ever seen. Wow. Jeez, no one says, talking about this earlier post, the BB guns had the orange tips painted black to look more like real handguns. That's smart. That's a good way to get yourself killed. Be carrying one of those around campus or wherever. Like now Braxton goes to a state school, so the campus security there is state police officers. So in a situation like that, that's what you're trying to be doing. Carrying around a gun where you blacken the orange tip while you got police officers on patrol. Thanks, Lord Davite. Yeah, I love my pops. There's haven't been a lot of good new anime ones, but I'm comfortable with the collection I got. I like. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna try and do that. Like I said, I got one more video I want to get to work on real quick. Gonna head to the store, and I will try. No promises. I will try and post a Yakuza stream later. If not, because Saturdays are a lot more free for me now, with college football being over except for the bowl games, I'll try and maybe stream it tomorrow. But guys, thank you for this. I apologize on behalf of YouTube again that notifications were basically non-existent. We've just come to terms with the fact that that's something we're going to live with. But we're not going to let it take us down. This is Free For All Friday. Free For All Friday stuff is always supreme. Doesn't matter how much Susan pisses us off. She can't take away the greatness that is FFAF sticky stuff. And here it comes in all its glory for all of you. Pumpu Pumpu, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. Free For All Friday sticky stuff. It's always the best. It always just makes you smile as it sticks to you. Because we'll bang, okay? Flashing like buggy. And as always, most importantly, you bet your ass it's always sticky. Goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh.